I wanted to be a surrogate in the first place.
Sure.
So, gosh, I don't even know. Over 10 years ago, my brother told me he was gay. And I think one of the first things that came into my mind was that obviously he wouldn't be able to have a family as easily as somebody else would, So that made me sad for him. I didn't know back then if he would even want to have children someday. But one of the first things I said to him was, well, I'll carry for you and your partner someday, and I didn't really know I didn't even know it was called being a surrogate, that was just kind of what came to my mind. And I was, I think, close to 20 years old at the time. So, didn't have a family of my own yet. So it kind of was put to the back burner. He wasn't in a serious relationship at the time. So it was always in the back of my head. And then I got married. I have 3 little ones of my own. We had them all very close in age. And then my friend ended up losing one of her babies at 20 weeks. Very unexpected. It was a normal pregnancy. She had a healthy, beautiful little girl before that. And it was devastating. And, I had reached out to her and we just started talking again and becoming close. And then she ended up having another baby that ended up in the NICU. I think she was born around 26 or 27 weeks. And I ended up pumping breast milk for her while I was pumping for my little one. And then I think that just really made me think of the whole process again. And I was like, we knew our family was complete after that time. But I just really wanted to try to help somebody in a big way if I was able to. So that's when I started researching, and I looked up a few agencies near me. Again, I knew actually a neighbor that was a surrogate, so I talked to her as well, just to see kind of what the process was like for her. And I think I applied to maybe 2 or 3 agencies, and FSC was it felt the most, a lot of them felt very business-like, I guess, if I could say that, and it just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. So once I talked to them, it seemed the opposite. It seemed like they were in it, I guess, if you want to say, for the right reason. And I believe I applied or had my first interview in August, and then the in-person was by, I want to say, the end of November. So pretty quick. And then we went through the process. I went into it looking to help a same-sex couple, but I was open to helping a single parent or, really anybody. So I ended up matching the first time with a heterosexual couple that was local, actually. I ended up transferring. I had to do a mock cycle. And I think it was the following July. So the end of that following July. So it took a while the first time. But that's just part of it, the ups and downs and making sure the hormones are right and all of that. And everything thankfully went perfectly. And I delivered their baby girl, very healthy little girl, 8 pounds, in the middle of the pandemic.
Yes, that's
like
fun.
Right at the peak. So, obviously all of that started during that time as well. So it was an interesting time, but everything still went really well, and we still keep in touch and everything like that. So it was a really great experience. It was awesome. So this time I am helping a same-sex couple from Spain. So a very different experience, but still just super excited. So yeah, everything's been great.
Good. I can see your heart in this whole thing, especially you going into it because of your brother.
Right.
So it definitely takes a special person, I think, overall to do this. What would you say, like, your favorite part of the whole process is?
Honestly, I mean, not to sound like it would be the obvious answer, but giving birth.
Sure.
And seeing the couple I was with, they had tried, I think it was almost 8 years. Wow. So when I met them, they were really they were frustrated. They were, a little depressed, obviously. I think it's something that a lot of us take for granted, and then you realize so many people, this is their journey. They struggle everywhere they turn. So, they tried IVF themselves, they tried even adoption, and everything, just nothing seemed to work. Mm-hmm. So having it work and going so smoothly, basically from the start, and then seeing their faces just, I don't know. It's just surreal. Like
It is.
and then seeing pictures of her now, it's awesome. It's like they finally have that family that they've longed for and they deserved, you know? So yeah, I think just the delivery day, I mean, even during a pandemic, you know, it's like I wasn't even wearing a mask was hard. I will say that part was a struggle for me. But everything else, it's just, there's just nothing like that experience, you know?
Having a third party like Family Source, how does it make the whole journey more enjoyable?
Oh my gosh, I could never. I mean, I've known of people through different support groups that will go through an agency the first time and then decide to do it independently. For me, that's not an option just because I can personally say they guide you through everything. And I mean, it's such a great support system to have, from just daily questions to, you know, if we ever go through a little bit of panic, you know, which I think naturally kind of happens, especially our first time around with the meds and, you know, all of that stuff. So I worked with Nicole the first time and Rhonda this time, and honestly, they're just a godsend.
Yes,
They really are.
I
I
agree.
mean, they helped with just everything. So I can't imagine not doing that. And plus, you know, you're covered too. You know, legally, I feel more comfortable, and just, you know, all around, I think it's just the best option for me personally. And I can't see myself. Plus, you get a great support group along with it, you know? So it's been really great.
What would be your biggest piece of advice for a new surrogate coming into all this and just for them beginning their journey?
For someone considering, or somebody that is just beginning?
Someone that is considering and just beginning.
So for somebody considering, I will say I tend to be a very cautious person, and, you know, I do my research and all of that. And I think obviously having experience being with Family Source, I think they're a wonderful agency all around. They're very knowledgeable, you know, they're supportive. Once again, you get a group of women that are going alongside with you, you know, ones that have been through it, ones that are currently going through it, in all sorts of situations. And I really like, again, that it seems like their heart is in the right place, you know, that they're in this to be what it should be about, making families and making people's dreams literally come true, you know. I think it's great that we also have options. Like, again, I went into this to truly want to help my brother, but, you know, helping a same-sex couple in general, it's been amazing. So having options and, you know, just the whole process of getting to know them and growing together, and just every step of the way, I think if you're considering it, definitely go for it. You know, I mean, sometimes I need a little push myself, just out of being nervous of the unknown, you know. But I'm so happy that I went for it, because it's truly been, I mean, next to giving birth to my own children, it's been the most amazing experience of my life. So I'm just so grateful for the agency and just everybody, you know. I'm just grateful to be doing this again too. So definitely go for it.
What would be your big piece of advice for someone that is starting and, you know, say they've already got the meds in place or whatever? What would be your advice for them?
So with my first journey especially, I think it taught me, don't fall into the comparison trap. I had to wait. I mean, the first one, it was rough. There were some ups and downs with the clinics and some miscommunications, and it wasn't as expected, and it was a little frustrating because, you know, some women get into it and it's like right away they have their transfer and hormone levels are good, and, you know, but really that's nothing any of us can control. So just be easy on yourself and, you know, get a good support system. Maybe even find one person you can talk to when you're having a rough day, because I think we all have had at least one rough day throughout, you know. But stick with it. Definitely stick with it. You know, if your heart's in it, just keep going, because the outcome is amazing. It may take you a little longer to get there, but I mean, I wouldn't change it, you know, even going through that. So it's just, the end result is what we're in it for, and just keep your heart set on that, you know, keep your eyes set on that end goal of bringing a family together, you know, and just kind of ride the ups and downs and, you know, get through it together, because it's amazing. Finding a good support system, like my family, obviously I talk to my brother, my mom, my aunt, my friends, everybody knows about this because I love it, you know. So naturally, I just talk about it a lot. But even my kids, I mean, they know the process and they're
Right.
excited. And I guess just finding ways to distract yourself enough to where you're not obsessing. Because
Yes.
the first journey, I feel like I obsessed a little bit. So naturally, I think you kind of put the pressure on yourself.
Sure.
And you can't, we can't control anything, but just taking care of yourself, getting the rest, having that support system and just staying positive.
Right.
I think that's the biggest part of it. So